Student handout number 3, still the inequalities unit. Today we're going to solve two-step inequalities. Again, it's the same process. There is that one little difference if you divide or multiply by a negative, but other than that, it's the same exact thing, except we have 2 steps. Before we get started, somebody tell me who the 12th president of the United States is. It is Zachary Taylor. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first 2 humans on the moon. Does anybody know who the third was? It was Charles Conrad. All right, let's get started. Two-step inequalities follow the same rules. For isolating the variable, think of that as undoing the operations. So we're going to follow the same rules for getting that variable by itself. Number 1, we're going to undo the subtraction with the inverse operation. Number 2, we're going to undo the multiplication or division with the inverse operation. Number 3, when you multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality sign is flipped. We're going to isolate the variable, and then we're going to check the inequality sign. So we're going to undo addition or subtraction with the inverse operation. Then we're going to undo the multiplication or division with the inverse operation. Just be careful, because when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, the sign is flipped. Number 3 or 4, I'm going to isolate the variable. And then 5, we're going to check the inequality. All right, here we go. Let's work one out. First step says to undo addition or subtraction. Right there. So we're going to undo that by subtracting 9. We're going to end up with 5x, because those are going to go away. Next, we're going to divide by 5 to undo the multiplication or division. And we're going to end up with, I forgot to put the 5 right there. We're going to end up with x is less than 1.6. So 1 step, 2 steps. All right, we're going to come over here and do the same thing. We're going to undo the addition or subtraction. There's a subtraction. We're going to undo that by doing addition. I'm going to end up with negative 2x is going to be greater than 16. I'm going to divide by negative 2, because I'm going to undo the multiplication or division, which is negative 2 times x. So undo that is divide. And when I divide, those go away. I divided across both sides by a negative. So I am going to flip the sign, and I'm going to end up with x equals negative 8. Again, first step, second step, answer. All right. I'm going to help you out a little bit right here. I'm going to flip this one for you. So that says 19 is greater than the negative 4p, so I'm going to keep that the same. And you can make it look just like that right there. That way your variable's on the left side to make you feel better. All right, I'm going to pause here and let you work 1 through 3. Pausing now. Welcome back. What was the last U.S. state to be admitted to the Union? What is the last U.S. state to be admitted to the Union? AKA, what is the last state to become a state? The answer is Hawaii. All right. These are two-step problems. And let's get it started. We're going to undo the addition or subtraction. Coach, how do you know that's addition? Because the other one is multiplication and division. So that is a plus 10. So subtract 10. I'm going to be left with 3K is less than or equal to 12. Next, I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm going to be left with K is less than or equal to 4. How do I check that? I can plug a number in less than 4. Let's do the graph first, and then we'll talk about that. So it is a closed dot on 4, so I'm going to go ahead and make my graph. Closed dot. And it is all numbers less than, so it's going to go to the left. So then I'm going to pick a number to the left. I'm going to pick 3 and go plug it in. So I am going to rewrite the equation or inequality. And I'm going to sub 3 in. Going to work out what's underlined in green. 10, 3 times 3 is 9. 10 plus 9 is 19. Is 19 less than or equal to 22? It is. Check, check. All right, moving on. I'm going to undo the addition or subtraction first right there. So I'm going to undo that by adding 5 to both sides. I'm going to be left with negative 4p is less than 24. Next, I'm going to divide by a negative 4 to both sides. And I am left with p. I divided both sides by a negative, so I have to flip the sign. Some of you are thinking, well, so if I flip the sign, the answer is always going to be negative. That's not correct. If that was a negative 24, it became a positive 6. So just because the answer is a negative, that has nothing to do with flipping the sign. So don't get that misconception in your head. All right, so let's go down here and draw our graph. We're going to start with negative 6. I'm actually going to put negative 6 right here. Why? Because I can. And then I'm going to count by 2s. You know why? Because I can. And then I'm going to put an open dot on negative 6, and it is greater than, so I'm going to go to the right. If it's greater than, then it's going to go to the right. If it's less than, it's going to go to the left. Always and forevermore. If you haven't figured that out yet. Now we're going to go check it. So it is negative 4. We're going to choose negative 4 to plug in there. And plus or minus 5. Now, we're going to work that out, and that is going to give us 11. Is 11 less than 19? Yes, it is. Number 3, undo the addition or subtraction first, which is the plus 3. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Those go away. I'm left with 1/2 r is less than 3. That is 1/2 r times r. So we're not dividing. 1/2 times r, that's multiplication. So we're actually going to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 1/2. And you're left with r is less than 6. 3 divided by 1/2 is 6. If you don't believe me, 3 divided by 1/2, that's 3 over 1, is keep change flip. 6 over 1 is 6. If you don't believe me, there's the math. All right, so the answer is 6. We're going to go down here and graph it. This time I'm going to put it right here. I am going to count by ones, though, this time. You know why? Because I can. That's why. All right, it's going to be an open dot on 6, and it's all numbers less than, so it's going to go to the left. I'm going to pick the number 5 to substitute in there. So I'm going to go 1/2 times 5 plus 3 is less than 6. Again, I'm going to take this and enter that into my calculator. And when I do that, it's going to give me a 5.5. Is 5.5 less than 6? Yes, it is. Check, check. All right. I'm going to zoom out. I was going to zoom out, so now you're not going to get to know those, so tough. All right. Who was crowned the MVP of the 2018 NBA Finals? Boys, y'all been begging for a sports question. Here you go. Who was the MVP in the 2018 NBA Finals? Kevin Durant. Where was the first modern Olympics held? The first modern Olympics. Athens, Greece. All right. I'll ask one more. One more. Here we go. Abdu, in the Disney movie Aladdin, is what animal? Abu. He's Aladdin's monkey. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to let you work out 2 through 12. And we will come back and go over them. 2 through 12. If you get all of them correct, I will give you 2 bathroom passes. If you get all of them correct, if you get over half, I'll give you 1. So when you get done, please bring it to me. If you get all of them correct, 2 bathroom passes. If you get half, we'll give you 1. All right, go. All right, welcome back. Let's show our work here. I am going to have to work those out on the side and then erase them as I go. So I'm going to work them out over here, and then I'll have to erase them as I go. So we have 4x minus 8 is less than 32. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I'm left with 4x is less than 40. I'm going to divide by 4. X is going to be less than 10. So x is less than 10. So 10, 11, 12, 9, open dot, and it's going to go left. Okay. Next one. Negative 6x plus 9 is less than or equal to 25. Here, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. I'm going to be left with negative 6x is less than or equal to. Why did I not flip the sign? Because I just subtracted. It's only when you multiply or divide by negative, okay? All right, so I'm going to end up with 16. And then I'm going to divide by negative 6. X is, flip the sign, is greater than or equal to, I think it's 2.6 repeating. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go x is greater than or equal to 2.6 that repeats. So on my graph, I'm gonna go 2, 3, and 1. Oh, it's -2, my bad, I forgot my negative. Look at there, big dummy. So it's gonna be, graph's gonna change a little bit. All right, so 2.6 is somewhere right in here, close dot. It is greater than, so it's gonna go to the right. Number 3, 3/4 x plus 8 less than 41, gonna subtract 8. 3/4 x less than 33, divide by 3/4. X is going to equal, or less than 44. I'm gonna count by twos, you know why? Y'all know why, because I can. Open dot, it is less than, so it's gonna go to the left. Number 5, 2.5x minus 10 greater than 25. Add 10 to both sides. Those go away. I'm left with 2.5x greater than 35. Divide by 2.5. X is going to be greater than 14. So I'm going to come over here. X is greater than 14. So I'm going to put 14, 15, 13. It's going to be an open dot on 14. It is greater than, so it's going to go to the right. So far we have left, right, left, right. We're marching. All right. Let's take a quick break and get a question. We're going to only have one question. Oh, this is a tough one. Who was the first character to speak in Star Wars? Who was the first character to speak in Star Wars? C-3PO. All right, number 6. X over 6 plus 2 greater than or equal to -16. We're going to add 2 to both sides. X over 6. Hold up, check that. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. My bad. All right, there we go. X over 6 is greater than or equal to -18. And we're going to multiply both sides by 6. X is greater than or equal to -108. Let's come back over here. X is greater than or equal to -108. -108. -107, and -109. Going to be a closed dot, and it is going to go to the right because it is greater than. Okay. 7, -16 greater than 5 plus 7x. Subtract 5 from both sides. You're going to get -21 greater than 7x, divide by 7, and you're going to get -3 is greater than x. All I did was flip that there. It's going to be an open dot. And it is less than, so it's going to go to the left. Okay. The next one, I have to sneeze. Told you it's coming. All right. This is number 8. So we have 6 plus 1.5x less than negative 12. Subtract 6. Those go away. I'm left with 1.5x is less than negative 18. And then I'm going to divide by 1.5. And I'm left with x is less than negative 12. Put negative 12, negative 11, negative 13, open dot. It is less than, so it's going to go to the left. All right, hey, getting there, getting almost done. Negative 8x minus 9 greater than negative 21. Add 9 to both sides. I'm left with negative 8x is greater than negative 12. Then I'm going to divide by negative 8. X, flip the sign, is greater than positive 1/2. Or x is less than, excuse me. X is less than 1/2. So on my graph over here, I would go 1, 2, and 0. And then 1/2 is an open dot somewhere in there, and x is less than, so it would go to the left. It's just what I would do. But I'm just a dumb old teacher. I don't know anybody listen to me. What number am I on? 10. 42 greater than equal to negative 6 plus 3x. Add 6. 48 greater than equal to 3x. Divided by 3. 16 is greater than or equal to x. So x is less than or equal to 16, 16, 17, 15. Close dot on 16, it is less than. 2 more, and we're done. Let's give you another question. In Harry's 6th year at Hogwarts, a new apparition and structure adjoins. What's his name? In Harry's 6th year at Hogwarts, a new apparition and structure joins. What's his name? Wilkie Tycross. One more. What kind of animal is Sid in Ice Age? What kind of animal is Sid in Ice Age? He is a sloth. All right, number 11. Subtract 25, because we have to undo the addition or subtraction first. You're left with negative 10x less than or equal to negative 20. Divide by negative 10. X, flip it, is greater than or equal to 2. Why did I flip it? Because I divided across the sign by a negative. All right, so x is greater than or equal to 2. 2, 3, 4. Close dot on 2. It is greater than, so it's going to go to the right. And the last one, 30 less than equal to 3x minus 5. Add 5 to both sides. 35 is less than or equal to 3x. Divide by 3. And you're going to get 11.6 repeating is less than or equal to x. X is greater than or equal to 11.6 repeating. So on my graph, I would go 11, 12, 12, 13. I would go close dot on 11.6, which is somewhere in there, and X is greater, so it's gonna go to the right. And that's all she wrote for the fat guy in the back. I'll see you on the flip side. Adios, amigos.